After my parents divorced, my mother remarried the Prince of Zhenbei. Greedy for wealth, my older sister chose to follow our mother into the royal estate. She became a pampered young lady living in luxury, while I stayed behind with my father and brother. Later, my father was appointed as a minister by the emperor. And as the minister's daughter, I married the reigning crown prince. Meanwhile, my sister was married off to a lowly servant by the royal estate, suffering endless torment from her in-laws. Furious over her marriage, my sister ran back home, crying and complaining to our father and brother. So, on my wedding day, they tied me up. My sister took my place to marry into the Eastern Palace. My father told me, only dead people can keep a secret. Working together, they brutally beat me to death. When I opened my eyes again, I had actually returned to the exact moment my parents divorced. This time, my sister spoke up first. I'll just stay with father. I would never acknowledge a thief as my father just for riches and glory. Hearing this, father's eyes grew red with tears. I didn't even look at them. Then I will go with mother to the royal estate. Murong Xinwei froze for a moment. She leaned in close to me, lowering her voice to a whisper. You don't actually think. In our past life, she used to run home crying, claiming the old dowager of the estate was a bitter, impossible old hag. She said the young masters were ice-cold and completely heartless, and the most detestable of all was the heir, a scheming, vicious, and ruthless man. Such a wealthy and powerful place. Is it not a good thing? I pretended to be confused. You'll find out soon enough once you get there. A meaningful, mocking smile crept onto her lips. My silly little sister, don't look down on our family's current poverty. 3 years from now, our family will absolutely rise to greatness. And as for me, I'm going to be the crown princess in the future. Hearing her words, I simply gave a slight nod. This time, without me, Murong Ruoxi, here to help. I really want to see how father and brother managed to rise to greatness. On the day mother took me into the royal estate, the Prince of Zhenbei, Chen Jun, came out to welcome us personally. When he gently supported mother's hand, his careful, tender manner was completely different from how father had treated her in my past life. But there was no joy on mother's face. The bumpy journey had made her already frail body even worse. Soon after, the old dowager summoned me. I followed the guide through several courtyards, and heard a seasoned, elderly voice coming from inside. I come from a family of generals. In all my life, I've never raised a delicate, precious little girl. How exactly are we supposed to raise a little lady like her? I've been thinking about it. We absolutely must spoil her. Standing outside the door, my heart skipped a beat. Listening to the old dowager's tone, it was obvious she genuinely cared about my arrival. She wasn't bitter at all, completely unlike what my sister had claimed. Grandmother, the welcoming gift you've prepared is far too expensive. She's just a little girl. It might make her feel too pressured. The one speaking was the heir of the estate, the very man my sister called the most detestable person of all. Boyue, you make a fair point. Then I'll put these banknotes away for now. Boyue, from now on, that little girl is your younger sister. You must treat her very well. You're joking, grandmother. As her eldest brother, I will naturally take good care of my little sister. I still have official business at the bureau. Your grandson will take his leave now. The sound of footsteps grew closer. I kept my eyes lowered. I saw a pair of dark boots embroidered with clouds step forward. The young man who emerged stood tall and flawless. I didn't dare to stare. I quickly curtsied and paid my respects. Greetings, brother. He stopped in his tracks. You are too polite, Miss Murong. Your last name is Murong. And mine is Chen. You have no brother here. I kept my head bowed in a deep curtsy and quickly corrected myself. Greetings, my lord. Chen Chonggong didn't say another word. He just walked straight past me. I waited until his footsteps faded completely away. I took a deep breath and stepped into the warm parlor. The old dowager was slowly rolling prayer beads between her fingers. This is my first time meeting you, child. I wasn't quite sure what to give you, but I hear you young girls love jewelry. So, I prepared a pair of gold bracelets for you. Nanny Lee stepped forward, holding a beautiful velvet tray. She opened the lid. Inside was a pair of pure, solid gold bracelets carved with lucky clouds. My mind suddenly flashed back to my past life. My sister had received these exact same bracelets back then, but she came back looking completely disgusted. That old woman is so cheap. Giving me 2 tacky gold bracelets. It's so incredibly out of style. What do you expect from a family of vulgar soldiers? They don't have an ounce of good taste. But the things my sister so casually despised were things I never even got to wear in my entire past life. I lowered my gaze, feeling the heavy, solid gold on my wrists. After a moment, I looked up at the old dowager. "Thank you so much, Your Highness." Seeing my genuine delight, the old dowager quietly let out a sigh of relief, as if a heavy weight had been lifted off her chest. "I called you here today because there's something else I want to ask you. Would you like to study at the White Crane Academy?" That was the absolute best academy in the entire Southwest. Only the highest royalty and nobility were allowed in. In my past life, when I found out my sister was going there, I was so incredibly jealous that I couldn't sleep for days. Later, I finally gathered the courage to go see her. I begged her to let me tag along as her maid, just to listen in. "You're too stupid," she had scoffed. "You barely speak a word on a normal day, and you're as dense as a rock. How could you possibly understand anything they teach? Do you know what a pathetic copycat looks like? Studying is an elegant pursuit. Only high-born ladies like Xinwei deserve to go. A blockhead like you would only make a total fool of yourself." I snapped out of my painful memories. "Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity, Your Highness. Oh, look at you, thanking me left and right. We are family now. There's no need to be so painfully polite with me. And one more thing. You should start calling me grandmother." A warm feeling bloomed in my chest. Grandmother. 2 days later, I stepped into the carriage headed for the White Crane Academy. Riding with me was the youngest son of the Prince of Zhenbei, Chen Muya. He was only 1 year older than me, right at that incredibly obnoxious, rebellious age. He hadn't given me a single friendly look since the moment we met. As the carriage rolled down the main street, I lifted the curtain to look outside. To my surprise, I saw Chen Chonggong riding alongside us. Chen Muya immediately burst into mocking laughter. "It's your first day of school, and grandmother was so worried. She specifically ordered my older brother to escort you. Murong Ruoxi. You must be feeling pretty full of yourself, aren't you?" I completely ignored his sarcastic taunts. My eyes stayed fixed on Chen Chonggong. He must have felt my gaze, because he gave me a cold, indifferent glance. His eyes drifted down, landing right on my hands. "Miss Murong's new bracelet is so pretty." After dropping the curtain, I stayed silent for a moment. Then, I gently took off the bracelets. My sister always said Chen Chonggong was the most obnoxious person in the entire manor. And she hit the nail right on the head. The carriage arrived at the academy. Chen Chonggong's arrival caused quite a stir. He was incredibly handsome, held a high position, and was still unmarried. The girls at the academy all stopped in their tracks, their eyes completely failing to hide their admiration in the sunlight. I ignored all the commotion, slung my bag over my shoulder, and walked straight into the classroom. My foundation was just too weak. Before I could even catch up on the lessons I'd missed, the exams were already here, coming in dead last for this exam. Murong Ruoxi. Second to last, Chen Muya. You've got your nose in a book every single day on the way to and from school. I thought you were some kind of genius. I didn't expect you to be even worse than me. Well, this is great. With you at the very bottom. Father definitely won't yell at me now. The carriage rolled down the long street. Chen Muya heard the familiar sound of horse hooves, lifted the curtain to take a look, and saw Chen Chonggong heading home from work. "Big brother, let me tell you some great news. I'm finally not dead last in the exams." Murong Ruoxi took the last spot. Ha ha ha, father is definitely going to whip her and make her face the wall to reflect. Chen Chonggong held the reins and slowly turned his head to look at me. Miss Murong came in dead last? I silently gripped my exam paper tighter, but my eyes uncontrollably began to well up with tears. Seeing my reddened eyes, Chen Muya acted like he had just witnessed the rarest thing on earth. Murong Ruoxi, are you actually crying? Just because you failed a test? Big brother, Murong Ruoxi bombed her test. And now she's crying. My cheeks were burning hot. I grabbed his sleeve. What the heck are you yelling about? Maybe because we both had such terrible grades, Chen Muya felt a little closer to me. He raised his hand and patted my head. Don't worry, when we get back home later, I will absolutely stand up for you. I looked at his completely righteous expression, but my mind was on something else entirely. In my past life, this very fourth young master of the Zhenbei Prince's manor would soon have his legs crushed by a collapsing restaurant. Going from a brilliant, spirited youth to a broken man with zero will to live. Maybe, I could help Chen Muya avoid this terrible disaster. Upon returning to the manor, Chen Muya was beaten so badly he was howling. He scurried all over the courtyard, like a cat whose tail had just been stepped on. The Zhenbei king, Chen Jun, held a ruler. Furious and glaring with rage, No, wait, father, she's the one who came in dead last. So why am I the one getting beaten up? Your sister just got here. So what if she didn't do well on a test? She can place whatever rank she wants. I hired so many tutors to give you extra lessons. And you still test like absolute garbage? I stood off to the side, quietly watching him get the spanking of a lifetime. When Chen Jun finally got tired of hitting him, he turned to me with a sheepish smile. Sorry you had to see that. Is your mother still ill? Her health has always been so fragile. I've already asked a top physician to treat her. The doctor said she needs complete rest. You and fourth brother go have dinner at grandmother's courtyard. We won't be joining you. By the time Chen Muya and I arrived at Wansong courtyard, Chen Chonggong was already there. The dowager princess had me sit right next to her, her gaze pausing on my bare wrists. Why aren't you wearing the gold bracelets I gave you? Do you not like them? I didn't dare say it was because of Chen Chonggong that I took them off. I merely replied softly, the gold bracelets you gave me are far too precious, grandmother. I was afraid of losing them if I wore them. So I took them off. Oh, you silly child. If you lose them, you lose them. It's not like our family can't afford it. She called for Nanny Li, who pressed a brocade box into my hands. These are from the dowager princess's dowry. There are no young ladies in the manor. So there hasn't been a chance to use them all these years. They are perfect for you, miss. I opened the box. Inside was a pair of gold bracelets with intricate carvings, along with a gold hairpin. You could tell at a glance that they cost a fortune. Chen Muya immediately jumped up. Why doesn't Marong Ruoxi get hit with the ruler for coming in dead last in her exams? And she even gets a reward? I won't accept this. She is a little girl, so sweet and delicate. How could we possibly beat her? You, on the other hand, have thick skin. A few beatings won't hurt you. Besides, you're a boy. What would you even do with gold bracelets and hairpins? Are you going to wear them? But this is all our family's property. How can we just let an outsider have it? Grandmother, I forbid her from taking a cut of our family fortune. The dowager princess was so furious with him that she grabbed her dragon head cane and started whacking him. By the time we left Wansong courtyard, the sky had gone completely dark. I was heading back with the brocade box in my arms when I ran into Chen Chonggong in the corridor. Still holding the box, I dropped into a curtsy. Greetings, my lord. Grandmother certainly dotes on you, Miss Marong. I stayed in my curtsy, not daring to look up. I knew very well that Chen Chonggong didn't welcome me, nor did he welcome my mother. At that thought, I offered the box up with both hands. I just wanted to escape my old home, read some poetry, and live out my days in peace. I never had any designs on your family's wealth, since my lord disapproves. I am more than willing to return the dowager princess's gifts. Chen Chonggong didn't take them. You must be joking, Miss Marong. I never said I disapproved, since these were given to you by grandmother. You really must keep them safe. Make absolutely sure you don't lose them. And break grandmother's heart. I snapped my head up. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Marong? I gritted my teeth and had no choice but to call over a few servants, asking them to help search the pond. Everything was perfectly fine. Miss Marong, how on earth did you manage to drop the dowager princess's gifts into the water? Out of the corner of my eye, I glanced at Chen Chonggong, who stood with his hands clasped behind his back in the corridor. It was my own carelessness. My hand slipped. Chen Chonggong let out an ambiguous scoff, then turned and walked away. After I returned to my room, my maid, Kui Kui, came over to report. Miss, the 3 young masters of the Marong family are waiting at the back door. They say they want to see you. I made my way to the back door. Sure enough, my 3 brothers were all there. My eldest brother, Marong Changfeng, was the first to speak. I heard you're going to study at the White Crane Academy. My second brother, Marong Changning, scoffed with disdain. Word is all over Rong City. You came in dead last on the exams. You've never had a single ounce of talent for studying. Why even bother making a fool of yourself? The 3 of us talked it over. You should give your spot at the academy to Xinwei. Xinwei has been studying the zither, chess, calligraphy, and painting since she was little. If she goes to the White Crane Academy, she definitely won't embarrass our family. In the past, my father and brothers always claimed that I had somehow harmed my sister while we were still in our mother's womb. So, they forced me to yield to her in absolutely everything. But I never truly felt like I owed her anything. Some of the old servants from the estate once let the truth slip. It was actually my 3 brothers who failed to look after her. They had carried her outside in the dead of winter just to look at the plum blossoms. That was how she caught a severe chill while still in her swaddling clothes, leaving her with chronic health issues. Getting sick year after year, her body left fragile and weak. Yet, they ruthlessly pinned all the blame on me. I stood there on the steps, my eyes shifting as I carefully hid my thoughts. My brothers are absolutely right. All the best things in our family really should go to my sister first. You're nowhere near as smart as Shinwei. Studying is just a waste of time for you. You should have given it up ages ago. Ruoxi, you're doing the right thing. Now that's our good little sister. I'll make the arrangements. Tomorrow, go straight to the Grand Consort and tell her you don't want to study anymore. Tell her you're giving your spot to your sister. I squeezed my handkerchief tightly, lowering my eyelashes. These fools actually thought that I was still the same old Murong Ruoxi from my past life, who would obey their every command just for a few words of praise. Someone who would lay down her life for them. I slowly looked up. The Grand Consort really likes me. At the family banquet today, she specifically pulled me aside to tell me that she was worried I wouldn't fit in at the academy. She said I could bring my sister along to study with me. On top of that, the Grand Consort also said that because I've been so devoted to her, she's going to give me one more spot. She wants me to choose one of my brothers to enter the White Crane Academy. The Grand Consort, of course, had never said any of this. I was making it all up on the spot. But it wasn't like they had any way of actually meeting the Grand Consort to check. But I have 3 brothers. I just don't know which one of you I should choose. Murong Changfeng froze right where he stood, swallowing hard. Eldest brother, we still need to report this to father. We need to think this through carefully. That's right, eldest brother. Don't tell me you were planning to hog the spot all for yourself? Am I that kind of person? The 3 of them agreed to give me their answer in a few days, and walked away, bickering loudly with each other. I was just about to turn and head back inside when I suddenly heard a soft scoff. I looked over and saw Chen Chonggong, leaning against his horse with his arms crossed. I had no idea how long he'd been standing there watching the show. Something came up at the bureau, so I had to step out for a bit. I didn't expect to catch such a good show on my way back. 2 peaches to kill 3 warriors. Now that is interesting. I lowered my gaze and gave a respectful bow. Greetings, my lord. I am but a simple-minded girl. I just placed dead last in my exams. I have absolutely no idea what you mean by 2 peaches killing 3 warriors. So, I really don't understand what you're implying, my lord. I didn't want to get on Chen Chonggong's bad side, but Chen Chonggong wasn't buying it. He led his grand horse right past me. A foul, sickening stench hit me. I noticed a bizarre lantern hanging from his saddle. The frame was crafted from white bone, stretched tight with a thin, eerie layer of skin. As the fat burned inside, a ghastly, pale light flickered through it. It twitched in the dark night, like some sort of grim omen. I stumbled back 2 steps in horror. The same noble heir who appeared so gentle and polite during the day slowly leaned down. Miss Murong, if I ever catch you playing your little tricks inside the manor, I promise you, I will turn you into another lantern. I caught a chill from the night wind, and ended up sick in bed for 2 days. Kui Kui fed me my medicine, then reached out to feel my forehead. Your fever has broken, she said, gathering the bowl and spoon. Oh, right, my lady. The Murong family just sent someone over with a message. They said they've made a decision. The eldest young master and the 4th young lady of the Murong family will be the ones going to the White Crane Academy. I wasn't surprised by this outcome at all. I glanced out at the darkening sky. Did Chen Muya leave the manor today? Yes, he did. The 4th young master went to the Golden Taste Pavilion for a meal. I immediately threw off the covers and jumped out of bed. We're going too. I remembered clearly from my past life. Today was the exact day Chen Muya met his accident. The day that restaurant collapsed, I just happened to be right across the street buying stationery for my eldest brother. So the memory was burned into my mind. I had no intentions of scheming for the manor's wealth. But if a perfect chance to become their savior falls right into my lap, I'd be a fool to turn it down. The carriage rushed to the Golden Taste Pavilion. The manager led me straight up to the private dining room. Chen Muya was lounging among a crowd of rich, spoiled nobles. The moment he saw me, his face scrunched into a frown. What the hell are you doing here? I was just passing by. I heard my dear brother was here, so I thought I'd pop in and say hello. Who are you calling, brother? Listen to me, Murong Ruoxi. Don't you even think about fighting me for the family fortune. I pretended not to care and casually glanced around the room. I heard the Golden Taste Pavilion has been standing for over 100 years. It sure has. Why do you ask? Murong Ruoxi, you're not trying to freeload off me, are you? Hoping I'll pay for your meal? In your dreams. It rained for 20 days straight last month. A lot of the old wooden buildings in main city are rotting away. They get soaked, swell up, and just collapse. I wonder if the Golden Taste Pavilion gets safety checks every month? The private room fell dead silent. A bead of cold sweat rolled down the manager's forehead. I tilted my head up at the ceiling beams. Why does it look like this main beam is a little crooked? Right on cue, a deafening crack of thunder shook the windows. Everyone jumped out of their skin. Even Chen Muya instantly sobered up. When exactly was your last inspection? 3 years ago. Knowing he was completely at fault, the manager didn't dare argue. He immediately scrambled to evacuate the entire building. He urgently ordered his staff to inspect the damage. Not long after everyone rushed outside, the century-old restaurant came crashing down with a deafening roar in the heavy rain. Chen Muya stood frozen on the opposite street, staring blankly at the massive cloud of dust. Beside him, his whole crew of rowdy friends stood absolutely paralyzed with shock. After a long moment, he finally swallowed hard in lingering fear. Muya, did you just say, this Miss Morong? Is the stepsister your stepmother brought into the prince's estate? And so, after today, I became the little sister to Chen Muya and all of his friends. My family is a royal merchant specializing in shoe brocade. Sister Ruoxi, tomorrow I'll send a whole carriage of shoe brocade over to you. You dress way too plain. I'll send you a bunch of bright and lively colors. Young Master Li wasn't about to be outdone. My family is in the jade business. We just got a whole piece of top-tier emerald. I'll have my mother personally design a complete set of jade hair ornaments for you. Chen Muya playfully punched and kicked them away. Ruoxi, thanks a lot for this time. I thought you were one of those vain, social climbing little girls. I didn't expect you to actually have a good heart. I didn't really do anything. Anyway, I owe you one. Morong Ruoxi. I announce that I officially accept you into the prince's estate. From now on, you're under my wing. The two of us returned to the estate. When the old dowager consort heard about what happened at Jinwei restaurant, she hurriedly summoned us both to Wansong courtyard. Chen Muya acted like he was putting on a play, strutting around with exaggerated, vigorous steps, performing every single detail for the dowager consort to see. The moment I walked out of Jinwei restaurant, I immediately heard the sound of the main beam collapsing behind me. Morong Ruoxi was crying and screaming, there are still people inside. I looked back, and hey. Guess what? It was a crying 3-year-old toddler. Before you could even blink, I lunged right in like a tiger. And rescued him. Actually, I was just passing by the restaurant. And gave the manager a quick warning. Right after we cleared the place out, the restaurant collapsed. Thank goodness it was a close call. With no casualties at all. Morong Ruoxi, you are way too boring. It's all thanks to you this time. You saved Mai's life. From now on, you are the benefactor of our estate. I truly don't know how to thank you. Grandmother, you're being too serious. You just told me last time that we are a family. The way she looked at me grew even more affectionate, and she held my hand tightly. She already saw me as half her own granddaughter. Outside, the rain was still pouring. Nanny Li went to help the dowager consort change clothes. Chen Muya excitedly ran to the small kitchen to find something to eat. The maids came in to light the lamps. The warm orange glow of the 9-branched lantern illuminated the young man sitting upright by the carved vase-shaped window. It was Chen Chonggong. He turned a page in his book. Without even looking up, how did Miss Morong know that Jinwei restaurant hadn't been inspected in 3 years? I didn't actually know. I just saw that the main beam was a little crooked, and remembered the building collapse accident from last month. So I just asked the manager an extra question. Miss Morong has very sharp eyes to actually notice a slanted beam. So many people go in and out of Jinwei restaurant. Why is it that only Miss Morong noticed? Is the heir apparent interrogating me? I am merely curious, or rather, the heir apparent believes I actually rigged it in advance, just so I could intentionally step in and save the 4th young master. To win the favor of the dowager consort and the 4th young master? But I am just a 14-year-old girl. I don't have that kind of deep calculation and scheming mind. Don't you? Ruoxi, try some of this date cake from grandmother's courtyard. It tastes way better than anywhere else. I took a deep breath. pushing down my disgust for Chen Chonggong, and picked up a piece of the date cake. Thank you, fourth young master. Oh, come on. Why are you calling me fourth young master? Just call me fourth brother. Ever since my mother passed away, father never remarried. When he suddenly married your mother, I just couldn't accept it at first. So, I ended up hating you, too. But now I know you're really great. And I don't hate you anymore. I actually want to be your big brother. Fourth brother, I called out to him, crisp and cheerful. Having never been a big brother before, Chen Mai's ears turned a little red. He gave a soft, earnest Beside us, Chen Chonggong let out a faint scoff, slowly setting down his book. Only then did Chen Muya realize he was there, too. Big brother, do you want a piece, too? I still have business at the office. After he left, Chen Muya sneakily pulled me aside. Next month is grandmother's 60th birthday. What are you planning to give her? Her 60th birthday? Yeah. Father is planning to throw a massive celebration. All the prominent officials and wealthy merchants in the county will be there. I don't have much cash on hand, so I can't afford any expensive gifts. I could embroider a portrait of the goddess Magu offering birthday greetings, but sadly, my embroidery skills are just too embarrassing to show. Honestly, I'm pretty broke, too. Father is always docking my allowance. Whatever I buy definitely won't compare to the other three brothers. Hey, Murong Ruoxi. How about we pool our money and buy a joint gift? Okay. The next day, Chen Muya and I went to the most famous jewelry shop on Jinli Street. Chen Muya picked up a hairpin and held it up against my head to see how it looked. This looks really pretty on you. I had never seen such an exquisite silver hairpin before. I took it from him curiously. Let me see. Murong Xinwei strolled over gracefully. Murong Ruoxi, I didn't expect to run into them here. Sister, third brother. Third brother, Ruoxi. I saw this silver butterfly hairpin first, Murong Ruoxi. Why do you always have to fight your sister for everything? She spotted this hairpin the second we walked into the shop. And you just had to snatch it. Chen Muya let out a sarcastic laugh. He yanked me behind him protectively and snatched the silver hairpin right back. Who the hell are you two? How dare you snatch things from my little sister's hands? And who are you? Who am I? Murong Ruoxi, you tell them who I am. Third brother, this is Chen Muya, the fourth young master of the Lord of Zhenbei's estate. But Chen Muya was clearly very unhappy with my introduction. That's not what you called me last night. My scalp tingled with embarrassment, and I had no choice but to add. He's also my fourth brother at the manor. Her family had 3 brothers. But our princely manor has 4 brothers. If I just called everyone by their number order, how would I tell them apart? Your fourth brother Chen. That sounds awful. Murong Ruoxi, if you can't come up with a better name for me, I am not done with you today. Well then, fourth brother. I guess that works. The sight of the two of them whispering so intimately was not lost on Murong Chongjing. He secretly clenched his fists tight. An indescribable mix of emotions welled up in his chest. Even though he couldn't stand Murong Ruoxi. But how could she call someone else brother? Doesn't she find it sickeningly sweet? Murong Ruoxi, I see you've climbed your way up the social ladder now. Looking down on your own flesh and blood now, are you? Before mother went to the royal estate, she let my sister and me choose who would go with her. I only got what my sister didn't want. How does that make me the one climbing the social ladder? You dare talk back to me now? I bet ever since you moved into that royal estate, you've gotten so cocky you've forgotten your own last name. Murong Ruoxi. If you don't want me to hate you, you'd better hurry home and wash my clothes. And not just the ones soaking in the tub, wash everything else in my closet too. If you do a good job, I might just forgive you. Upstairs by the railing, Chen Chonggong stood with his hands behind his back. He watched the commotion downstairs with cold eyes. The shopkeeper stepped up behind him. Your Highness, the jade has arrived. They are all incredibly rare and precious pieces, absolutely perfect as a birthday gift for the Dowager Princess. Would you like to go in and take your pick now? Chen Chonggong raised a hand, signaling him to be quiet. He continued to gaze down at the floor below. Screw you. Murong Chongjing clutched his chest, grimacing in absolute agony. He could barely even stand back up. Third brother. You actually hit me? I don't care if you're the fourth young master of the Zhenbei royal family. You still have no right to assault someone in broad daylight. I hit you, so what? Hit me back if you've got the guts. Ruoxi, your third brother just got beaten up. And you're just gonna stand there and watch? HMPH, she's flying high now. She stopped caring about us a long time ago. What an ungrateful little backstabber. And to think our family fed and raised her for over a decade. Murong Ruoxi, if you have any shame, don't you ever come back to the Murong house. We don't want a sister like you anymore. I'm never going back to the Murong house. And I sure as hell don't want to be your sister anymore either. You just want me to bow down and beg for your forgiveness, exactly like you do with Xinwei, don't you? Well, let me tell you, don't even think about it. In my eyes, you will never even compare to Xinwei. My sister went out today to buy her supplies for the White Crane Academy. That's right, third brother came out here especially to keep me company. He bought all of these things for me with his own hard-earned savings. Third brother is so good to you. But there are only 2 spots open at the White Crane Academy. Why didn't you think about how good third brother has been to you? And give your spot to him instead? Fourth brother, let's get out of here. Murong Xinwei tightly clutched the brushes and ink in her arms, as if she were holding a scorching hot potato. She cast a hesitant glance at Murong Chongjing, who was clenching his fists in silence. Seeing the dark look on his face, Murong Xinwei spoke up. Third brother, did you want to go to the White Crane Academy? I can give my spot to you, even though my health is so poor. And I have no other hobbies besides losing myself in my books. But reading so many books is useless for a girl like me. 600,000, I'm not going. You know perfectly well I hate studying. Murong Ruoxi is just trying to drive a wedge between us on purpose. Just ignore her. She thinks that by clinging to a high branch. Little does she know, they just treat her as a joke. She'll find out how tough we are soon enough. Wow, this is so pretty. You spent all our money buying this silver hairpin. What are we going to do for grandmother's birthday gift? We'll just have to think of another way. As the two were talking, Chen Chonggong walked out of the shop. Big brother. Chen Chonggong's gaze landed on my hair bun. He rubbed his fingertips together and calmly lowered his eyes. She is dressed a bit too charmingly, isn't she? Chen Muya coughed lightly. Big brother, Ruoxi and I are picking out a birthday gift for grandmother. It's just that we're a little tight on cash right now. Could you lend us some money? I promise I'll pay you back later. After saying that, he leaned in close to my ear and whispered, Big brother is loaded. Once we borrow it, it's ours. We don't have to pay him back. If he hounds us for it, we'll just play dumb. If fourth brother is out of money, he can go learn the lion dance. Rolling around and doing a few flips at the birthday banquet will be enough to make grandmother happy. As for Miss Murong, whatever Miss Murong wants to give, she'll have to figure out another way herself. The fine horse galloped away. I took a few steps back, brushing away the dust blowing in my face. Don't worry, Murong Ruoxi. I definitely won't ditch you to go do the lion dance alone. You go do your lion dance. I've already figured out what to give her. What is it? Even though I'm not good at embroidering flowers, birds, or people, I can embroider words. I plan to hire someone to write a birthday greeting, and then use needle and thread to stitch the characters out, making a small table screen. That's easy. It just so happens the Prince's Mansion study has a massive collection of calligraphy and paintings. I'll take you there to pick one out. We'll see whose calligraphy you like. The study in the Prince of Zhenbei's mansion had a rich collection of books, with the walls covered in calligraphy and paintings. I looked through them one by one, and finally stopped in front of a piece of calligraphy. Whose calligraphy is this? My big brother wrote this one. Look, here's his seal in the corner. Do you want my big brother to write the birthday greeting for you? So you actually like my big brother's handwriting, huh? No, I don't. His handwriting is ugly. Oh, right. There are a few more pieces over there. He led me around the bookshelf, only for us to bump right into Chen Chonggong, who was sitting properly by the window. My handwriting is ugly? Then I suppose Miss Murong's handwriting must be exceptionally beautiful. My handwriting is ugly. Your lordship's handwriting is the beautiful one. But I just heard you say. You misheard me, your lordship. So, you really want me to write the birthday greeting for you? Very much so. Unfortunately, I've been swamped with official duties lately. So I'm afraid I don't have the time to write it for you. This guy acts like he's sick in the head. Knowing full well I never planned to ask him to write it, he just had to reject me to my face to feel satisfied. So petty. Anyway, I have to go to the academy tomorrow. I remembered a few classmates at the academy had really beautiful handwriting. The next day, just as Chen Muya and I pulled up to the academy gates in our carriage, we heard a loud commotion. Murong Ruoxi, which of your brothers is this one? I stepped out of the carriage. The ones making a scene were Murong Changfeng and Murong Xinwei. They had specially dressed up in brand new clothes and rushed over all excited. Only to be stopped outside by the academy servants. I walked up to them. Brother, sister. You're here just in time. These servants are insisting we aren't students here, and they won't let us in. Hurry up and set them straight. Murong Xinwei stood to the side, holding her newly bought writing supplies. They were surrounded by students watching the drama unfold. All of them were either wealthy young masters or daughters of officials. And they seemed to be laughing at them. She scrutinized the white Crane Academy uniform I was wearing, looking quite displeased. Seeing that I stayed completely silent, Murong Changfeng urged, Ruoxi, say something. Have you forgotten everything I taught you about presenting yourself properly in public? Just look at your sister. So poised and elegant, everyone likes her. Why can't you be even a little bit like her? I'm sorry. What? Actually, grandmother never agreed to let you two study at White Crane Academy. I lied to you. Murong Changfeng's eyes widened in sheer disbelief. Because you kept forcing me to give up my spot for my sister. But I just couldn't bear to let it go. Back when we were at home. She got to learn music, chess, calligraphy, and painting, while all I ever did was wash her clothes and cook for her. I can't even read properly. But brother, I just wanted to better myself so badly. So I made up that lie. The students around us snapped out of their shock. And couldn't help but gossip and point fingers. If you ask me, you really can't blame Murong Ruoxi for this. What's wrong with looking out for yourself? She's not a saint. I'd fight for my spot too if I were in her shoes. With criticism hitting him from all sides, Murong Changfeng's face flushed bright red. Humiliated and furious, he was so utterly embarrassed he could barely stand there. He quickly grabbed Murong Xinwei and scurried away in disgrace. It wasn't until they had run quite a distance that he spat out angrily, Murong Ruoxi is absolutely out of line. This is all my fault. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have been humiliated like this, brother. We clearly can't count on Murong Ruoxi. Honestly. We're going to have to beg mother about our schooling. I heard the Prince of Zhenbei is quite fond of her. If she just whispers a few sweet words in His Highness's ear, I'm sure he'd gladly get us into White Crane Academy. The siblings went through a whole ordeal before they finally managed to secure their spots at the academy. When Murong Changfeng came to drop Murong Xinwei off at the girls' class, I was chatting with the girl who had the best handwriting in our class. Ruoxi, it's not that I don't want to help you write the birthday greeting. It's just that my calligraphy is only decent within our class. If you're going to use it as a birthday gift, it's nowhere near good enough. There are so many master calligraphers out there. Showing off my writing would just be an utter embarrassment. Murong Ruoxi, I turned around to look. Murong Changfeng was standing at the door with a dark scowl. Don't tell me you're actually preparing a birthday gift for me? After the way you played Xinwei and me for fools the other day, do you honestly think that I'd still invite you to my birthday party? Ruoxi, hurry up and apologize to our brother. If you end up missing out on his birthday celebration, she'll probably get all anxious and start crying her eyes out again. Even if she cries her heart out right in front of me, I won't feel sorry for her. A selfish person like her doesn't even deserve to be my sister. After saying that, he flicked his sleeves and stormed right off. In the afternoon, we had a newly added riding and archery class. When I arrived at the stables, I happened to brush past a groom who was feeding the horses. I found my own horse. It was a little white mare, quietly grazing with her head down. I watched her happily for a long time, until the girls from my class finally strolled in. The grooms led the horses and followed the students to the academy's training grounds. A familiar voice rang out. I was invited by the headmaster to teach your riding and archery class. I looked in surprise at the young man riding toward us. It was Chen Chonggong. Gasps echoed all around us. It's Lord Chen. The girls' excitement visibly soared. Some of his secret admirers even shyly straightened their clothes. One little girl whispered to me, "Isn't Lord Chen your stepbrother? Do you know if he has his eye on anyone? Oh, and also, what does he like to eat? What are his hobbies?" I actually knew absolutely nothing about Chen Chonggong's hobbies. Murong Xinwei covered her lips and chuckled softly. Oh, you really shouldn't bother asking my sister. Even though she followed our mother into the Prince of Zhenbei's estate, did you really think the young lords would accept her so easily? I bet my sister hasn't even spoken to his lordship alone in private. My expression remained completely blank. I just ignored her, and focused entirely on Chen Chonggong's instructions. Chen Chonggong was showing everyone how to mount. I followed his steps and climbed onto the horse's back. But suddenly, a terrified scream came from the back row. Help! A noble girl's horse had been spooked for no reason, and was bolting away wildly with her on its back. Chen Chonggong reacted instantly. He vaulted onto his horse, squeezed its sides, and chased after her in a flash. But somehow, the fine horse beneath him suddenly went completely mad, neighing and trying to buck him off. Chen Chonggong's expression turned grim. Seeing that he couldn't control the beast, he decisively drew his dagger, and plunged it swiftly and ruthlessly straight into the horse's neck. The horse let out a tragic cry. He stepped on the back of the collapsing horse, moved like the wind, and in a split second, appeared right behind the noble girl. He managed to rein in her horse just in time. The students immediately swarmed over. The terrified noble girl burst into tears, and was escorted by her friends to see the doctor. That's it for today's riding and archery class. I saw Chen Chonggong walk back to the starting point and bend down to pick up a sharp little stone. That stone must have been what spooked the girl's horse. Chen Chonggong tucked the stone away. His trusted guard, Chen Fushan, walked over and reported in a low voice. Sir, I just inspected the horse you rode. It was drugged by someone. The drug drives animals into a violent, uncontrollable frenzy. I think I might have seen the person who drugged it. Gather all the grooms here. Chen Chonggong gathered all the grooms at White Crane Academy together and asked me to identify the culprit. I took a look around, and shook my head. He's not among them. Chen Fushan, take them away. Since Miss Morong has seen the suspect, please come back to the magistrate's office with me. I'll have my advisor draw a sketch of him based on your description. It is finished. Miss Morong, please take a look. I took a really good look at it. Your drawing is spot on. He looks exactly like this. Pass this portrait around. Start searching for the killer at once. Later that night, Miss. The young master says he's found the killer, and asks you to go identify him. I was wondering what there was to identify. Since they already caught the guy, why not just interrogate him directly? But to my surprise, when I got there, I found out the man was already dead. I covered my nose and mouth with my sleeve, and followed closely behind Chen Chonggong. We soon stopped in front of a corpse. There was someone else standing next to the body. You're here, and this must be our family's newest little sister. Hello there, little sister. I'm your second brother. Take a look. Is this the same man from earlier today? I braced myself and looked at the corpse, then instantly turned pale and quickly looked away. It's him. He ingested red arsenic and died from the toxicity. I found some flatbread in his stomach. The filling is made of chives, pork, eggs, and Chinese tune. It isn't the season for Chinese tune here in Rongcheng yet, but they do have it in Yongcheng, 30 miles south. And who lives in Yongcheng? Brother, you know very well. As Chen Weijin cut open the corpse's stomach, the stench was so overwhelming my eyes stung. I finally couldn't hold it in anymore, covered my mouth, and dashed out. I leaned against the outer wall of the morgue, throwing up until I was almost dry, heaving bile. Chen Weijin came out holding a candlestick. Rinse your mouth. I carefully took the bowl from him. You're already very brave, little sister. You flatter me, second brother. You're so pretty, little sister, such soft, delicate skin. We've never had a corpse as beautiful as you here in the morgue. He looked at Chen Chonggong with a thirsty gaze. His voice was low and soft, carrying a hint of a spoiled wine. Brother, I want her. I didn't realize when, but Chen Chonggong was already standing right behind me. He was tall and imposing, his shadow falling over me and almost entirely enveloping me. Not her. Oh, fine then. By the way, what should we do with the body? Send it to Yongcheng. Once back in the carriage, I carefully peeked through a corner of the window curtain. Chen Weijin was standing in the night wind, holding the candlestick, smiling and waving goodbye at me. Safe travels, little sister. Come play again another time. I dropped the curtain instantly like I'd seen a ghost, and looked over at Chen Chonggong. Is he not coming back to the estate? He rarely comes home. The carriage rolled along for a while before I tentatively asked, did I actually help you tonight? Chen Chonggong glanced over at me and gave a soft hum. Well then, since I helped you out, young master, could I ask you to do me a favor in return? It's about a birthday greeting. I've already thought of what to say. It's only a few dozen words. I just need you to copy it out for me, please. I can do that. I looked at the birthday greeting that Quiqui brought back. I couldn't help but relax into a smile. In my free time from studying, I started copying Chen Chonggong's calligraphy. I practiced until I knew every brushstroke by heart, and only then did I trace the entire piece onto the silk. I officially started embroidering. The Grand Dowager Consort has been so incredibly good to me. I wanted to stitch it as perfectly as possible. The spring days were growing brighter and warmer by the day. I poured my heart into my studies every single day, and whenever I got tired, I'd switch to embroidering the calligraphy. I no longer had to manage the household or scheme for my father and brother's futures. My life was more peaceful than it had ever been. Outside my window, the weeping crabapples blossomed beautifully, and in the latest exam, I moved up more than a dozen spots. When the teacher announced the grades, I was actually ranked one spot ahead of Murong Xinwei. After classes ended, Murong Changfeng came to pick up Murong Xinwei. He looked pretty upset, muttering under his breath, "Xinwei, I really messed up my exams this time." White Crane Academy is full of brilliant minds, and we've only just arrived. It's totally normal to slip up once in a while. Please don't be too hard on yourself, big brother. How did you do, Xinwei? You definitely did way better than Murong Ruoxi, right? We all told her not to come to the academy and embarrass herself. But she just wouldn't listen. She actually thought we were trying to sabotage her. I couldn't help but let out a little laugh. That was when Murong Changfeng finally noticed I was still in the classroom. What are you laughing at? I scored just a bit better than my sister. Murong Xinwei's face instantly went pale. She clutched her handkerchief, looking like she was about to burst into tears. I know you did better than me, but did you really have to rub it in? Don't you know how fragile your sister's health is? Rubbing salt in her wounds right to her face. Murong Ruoxi, do you have any conscience at all? All those times I taught you about sibling harmony and looking out for each other. Have you forgotten every single word? You are our little sister. We've always spoiled you and let you have your way since we were kids. But you're just so incredibly stubborn and cruel. You're always making us angry, and that is exactly why we have to discipline you so much. It's all for your own good. Now, I'm putting my foot down. Apologize to your sister right now, and we will pretend this never happened. I completely ignored him and picked up the birthday scroll spread out on my desk. But Murong Changfeng stormed over in just a few strides. Apologize to your sister. I looked up and glared right at him. Murong Changfeng actually flinched. His eyes swept over the birthday scroll and he suddenly froze. Have you been making this birthday gift for me all this time? I swatted his hand away and clutched the scroll to my chest. It's not for you. Come on, I saw it. My birthday is just days away. You were trying to surprise me, weren't you? Ruoxi, big brother knows you're not a bad person at heart. You're just way too jealous and competitive. But your sister is so fragile. You can't always try to outdo her and upset her like this. From now on, when it comes to your studies, you need to step back and let your sister shine. You are forbidden from ever scoring higher than her again. Do you hear me? He said. Reaching out to pat my head, I instantly pulled away. Murong Changfeng's hand just awkwardly hung there in midair. He frowned deeply. Just as he was about to scold me, a lazy, drawling voice echoed from outside the classroom. Murong Ruoxi, time to go home. Taking you out for roast chicken legs. Is your fourth brother good to you or what? Fourth brother is the best to me. Please, it's just a roast chicken leg. Is it really worth her getting so excited? That girl Ruoxi is so incredibly shallow. She's never had anything nice. Someone feeds her a roast chicken leg, and she's already throwing herself at him, calling him fourth brother. My brothers used to take me out for roast chicken legs and other delicious food all the time. I'd never drool over someone else's charity. Murong Changfeng stiffened a little. The three brothers really did take Xinwei out to restaurants all the time. As for Murong Ruoxi, they hadn't taken her out for a single meal her entire life. But she brought that upon herself. Who asked her to be so unreasonable? Always fighting with Xinwei over everything. What are you thinking about, big brother? I'm thinking. Ruoxi is different from before. She doesn't cling to us anymore. Maybe she's just doing this to get your attention, big brother. To make you jealous. Deep down, she definitely still cares about you. Why else would she spend days preparing a birthday gift for you in advance? You're right, but that girl is just way too stubborn. To think she's stooped to such pathetic manipulation tactics. On my birthday, it's better if we don't invite her, just in case she ruins everything again. I had no idea what Murong Changfeng was scheming. I just stayed quietly in the study, finishing my embroidered calligraphy. I took the silk to a shop and asked the craftsman to frame it into a carved rosewood inkstone screen. The day before the birthday banquet, I went back to the shop to pick up the finished screen. While passing through the busy market, someone called out to me from the tavern above. I looked up. There was Chen Muya leaning casually against the carved window. What are you staring at? Come on up. He was surrounded by a few young masters. They were the same ones who escaped from Jinwei restaurant that day. Lately, they've been sending me gift after gift to show their gratitude. I thought about it for a second, then stepped into the tavern. I figured I should at least offer them a toast. Inside the tavern, Murong Changfeng was holding his birthday banquet in the private room right across from Chen Muya. Big brother, this is my birthday gift to you. Murong Changfeng opened the brocade box. Inside rested a calligraphy brush. The handle was polished smooth and warm to the touch. You could tell a lot of heart went into it. I made this brush with my own 2 hands. Do you like it, big brother? It's the thought that counts. Of course I love it. I'll definitely use your brush to write my very best essays. Suddenly, he froze. Actually, I had given him a brush in the past, too. And I made it with my own hands as well. Back then, when faced with my hopeful eyes, what did he say again? This thing is cheap and worthless. You put absolutely no heart into it. I have no idea where he ended up throwing that brush. Just as he was lost in his memories, someone suddenly pushed open the door to the private room. It was me, standing right there holding the inkstone screen. The room instantly fell dead silent. Big brother. Didn't you say she wasn't invited? Why did she show up uninvited? And here I thought she latched onto the prince of Zhenbei's family. Thought she was really done with us. Look at her, scrambling right back here to suck up to us. I bet 4th Master Chen threw her away like trash. Alright, that's enough. Since you're already here, just sit down and have a drink. That way, you can't accuse us of favoring Xinwei again. If I told you guys I just walked into the wrong room, would you believe me? Ruoxi, since when did you become such a liar? Big brother already gave you an out. Are you really going to keep playing hard to get? You brought a gift, yet you still claim you're not here for the birthday banquet? What, do you really expect us to swallow our pride and coax you? Just so you'll drop this act? Murong Ruoxi. Take a good look in the mirror. See if you're even worthy. I turned to leave, but Murong Changjing lunged forward in a flash. He actually shoved me inside. Caught off guard, I crashed to the floor. Clinging desperately to the inkstone screen in my arms, I glared up at him indignantly. What the hell are you doing? Oh, treating this little trinket like it's some precious treasure? Let's see just what kind of gift you've prepared for big brother. He ripped away the brocade wrapping, revealing an exquisitely crafted inkstone screen. The piece was breathtakingly elegant and majestic. One glance was enough to tell that an immense amount of effort went into making it. Ruoxi, is this birthday gift for me? I already told you, it's not for you. Give it back. Murong Ruoxi, you brought a birthday gift to our eldest brother's banquet yourself. And now you claim it's not for him? There has to be a limit to your childish tantrums. We were way too lenient with you in the past. You ungrateful brat. Since you've delivered the gift, you can get the hell out of here. You're sickening. Don't you dare ruin Big Brother's party. Let me go. Give me my stuff back. Ruoxi, you are being utterly ridiculous. Who else's birthday would you possibly be celebrating, if not mine? I'll accept this gift. I hope you learn to fix that nasty attitude of yours in the future. Try learning a thing or two from Xinwei. A birthday gift? An arrogant voice suddenly echoed from outside. Listen here, you Murong brats. That is a birthday blessing my eldest brother personally wrote for his grandmother. Aren't you afraid holding it will curse you to an early grave? 4th brother, I cried out. I quickly ducked behind Chen Muya. He let out a cold, arrogant scoff. Murong Ruoxi, you are a noble lady of the Zhenbei prince's estate now. Next time you run into these mannerless trashes, just order the estate guards to beat them up. Don't waste your breath on them. Murong Changjing, having been kicked by him before, was visibly terrified. He sheepishly backed away to Murong Changfeng's side. Murong Changfeng never expected this inkstone screen was actually a birthday tribute for the Grand Dowager Consort. He could only watch helplessly as Chen Mai's men snatched it back. Seething with suppressed anger, he offered Chen Muya a stiff bow. I see. It seems I completely misunderstood the situation. But really, Ruoxi, why didn't you speak up about something this important sooner? You caused such an embarrassing scene for nothing. I've told you multiple times. You were the ones who refused to listen. Bang. The sudden sound of a shattering teacup rang out in the private room. Everyone turned toward the noise. Murong Changning stood up, his face dark and freezing. He locked his piercing gaze on me. Apologize. Why on earth should I apologize? Murong Changning let out a sinister chuckle. Why should you apologize? You humiliated our eldest brother in front of outsiders. You practically ruined his entire birthday banquet. Don't you know that at the dinner table, a man's pride is the most important thing? Chen Muya let out a laugh. I've only ever heard of a man earning his own pride. I've never heard of him relying on a woman for it. The Morong family's upbringing is truly something else. The Morong family's upbringing, quite extraordinary. Morong Changning's face instantly turned a chaotic mix of colors. His pride and self-esteem were like dirty insoles, thrown to the ground and ruthlessly trampled on. He could barely even lift his head. He shot me a vicious glare. Are you really not going to apologize to Big Brother? I did absolutely nothing wrong. Why should I apologize to him? I snatched back my inkstone screen and tugged at the corner of Chen Mai's sleeve. Fourth brother, let's go. Morong Changning couldn't just swallow this insult. He tried to lunge after us, but was held back by two lackeys, one on each side. Chen Muya stepped right up to him. He glanced back slightly, and seeing that I had walked far away, he turned back to Morong Changning with a condescending glare. He casually brushed the dust off Changning's shoulder. Morong Ruoxi is my sister. You cross her, you cross me. And that means you cross the Zhenbei prince's estate. Got it? Morong Changning looked utterly humiliated, his chest burning as if it were on fire. He harbored a toxic, bitter hatred for Morong Ruoxi. My brother is talking to you. Morong Changning swallowed hard. Got it. Chen Muya took 2 steps back, pointing a mocking finger at his face. Before swaggering off, surrounded by his gang of wealthy heirs, the private room fell into dead silence. I knew it. The moment that Jinx shows up, nothing good ever happens. Morong Changning lowered his head, clenching his fists as he stared coldly at the shattered porcelain on the table. Just wait and see. She'll be kicked out of the house sooner or later. Let's see how arrogant she can be then. Morong Xinwei picked up her wine cup. Tomorrow was the Dowager Consort's 60th birthday. She clearly remembered that in her past life, Chen Mai's leg was crushed by a falling beam right before this. So why did he look perfectly fine today? Could it be that she wasn't the only one who was reborn? Was Morong Ruoxi reborn too? Did Morong Ruoxi save Chen Muya ahead of time? Is that why he's so fiercely loyal and obedient to her now? Well, since tomorrow is the Dowager Consort's 60th birthday, why don't we head over to the prince's estate and join the fun? The Prince of Zhenbei absolutely dotes on Mother. For her sake. He'll definitely let us in. Why the hell would we go to that snobbish, rundown place? I'm not going. Third brother. If we don't go, how are we supposed to expose Morong Ruoxi's true colors? You know exactly what I mean. Besides, we're all much more charming than Morong Ruoxi anyway, especially Xinwei. If we go to the Zhenbei prince's estate, we'll definitely win over the Dowager Consort's heart. And then everyone at the estate will completely despise Morong Ruoxi. Today was finally the Dowager Consort's birthday. If you guys took even 15 more minutes, you'd be late. Hey, we made it just in time, didn't we? I hugged the embroidered ball tight, and ran toward the front courtyard with them. All the guests are here. They're just waiting for you guys to liven things up. Grandmother still has no idea this is your birthday gift. She was just asking me why you weren't here yet. As we passed through the winding corridor of the spirit screen, the big embroidered ball slipped from my arms and rolled away. I hurried over to pick it up. I saw it stop right next to a pair of boots. I scooped it up and looked up. Chen Chonggong was standing in the corridor, his hands behind his back. He looked down at me and I quietly took a few steps back. Brother. I kept my head down. Greetings, my lord. He casually snapped off a peach blossom branch that was leaning into the corridor. Have you forgotten your manners, Miss Morong? Frolicking with young masters from other families in public? No, it's not like that. I'm the one who asked Ruoxi to meet us. Right. Sister Morong never hangs out with us. We only exchange a few words if we happen to bump into each other at the academy. Plus, we only talk to her when Chen Muya is around. We've absolutely never done anything out of line with Sister Morong. It's just because I saved them at the Jinwei diner. That's why they treat me like a little sister. As the saying goes, you only see what's already in your own heart. I wonder what kind of mindset you must have to make such awful assumptions, my lord. Morong Ruoxi, you are completely out of line. How dare you talk back to his lordship? Everyone turned toward the voice. It was the 4 Morong siblings. Ruoxi, it was one thing for you to disrespect your elders back home, but now you're a guest in someone else's mansion. How do you still have zero manners? Brother, don't be so harsh, Ruoxi is just... Seriously? Why do you guys show up everywhere? You're like lingering ghosts. And what do you mean, someone else's mansion? Ruoxi is Xiaogu's sister. This is her home now. So what if she talks back to her brother in her own home? Who gave you outsiders the right to point fingers? Murong Changfeng was taken aback by those words. My little sister has been completely spoiled since she was young. That's why she's so stubborn and clueless. I, Xinwei, apologize to you on her behalf. I had no idea the eldest Miss Murong was so eager to meddle in the family affairs of the Zhenbei prince's mansion. Murong Xinwei's face instantly froze, and she stared at him in utter disbelief. He actually called it a family affair. In her past life, she spent her entire life chasing him but never got a single kind word. Why does Murong Ruoxi get this kind of treatment the moment she shows up? Xinwei, the banquet is about to start. Let's head inside. It wasn't until they walked out of the corridor that he spoke. I told you that girl was manipulative and scheming. Now she's got the whole Chen family wrapped around her finger. Second brother is absolutely right. Only someone like Xinwei is a truly decent girl. As far as I'm concerned, Xinwei is the only sister I'll ever acknowledge in this lifetime. I honestly don't know when Ruoxi turned out so twisted. If you ask me, aside from Chen Chonggong having some skills, the other young masters of the Zhenbei prince's mansion are all flash and no substance. They can't even compare to the potential as three brothers have. Murong Xinwei dabbed her teary eyes with a handkerchief. Big brother is right. In her past life, their family was indeed incredibly prominent. Her father served as a minister, and her brothers were all highly successful. If things followed the path of her past life, she was destined to become the crown princess. Thank you for speaking up for me just now, my lord. You misunderstand, Miss Murong. I was merely defending the reputation of the Zhenbei prince's mansion. I used to think that you were just greedy for wealth and desperate to cling to power. But after dealing with your older sister today, I realize she completely outshines you in that department. Given her manipulative tactics and how highly valued she is in your family, it would be a piece of cake for her to follow your mother into the prince's mansion. I suppose she herself also deeply yearned for the wealth and rank of the prince's estate, so... May I ask, Miss Murong, why the person who finally came to the estate was you? What? Is Ruoxi, just a frail little girl, actually more terrifying than an enemy's army of thousands? To make the heir apparent so guarded against her? I am merely curious. I gave a polite curtsy, and didn't say another word to him. Turning around, I went straight to the front courtyard. The dowager consort sat right in the center, accompanied by Chen Jun, the prince of Zhenbei, and Chen Chonggong. Chen Weijin had also returned. He sat perfectly straight right beside Chen Chonggong, while maids shuttled back and forth, carrying fine delicacies and wine. Amidst the clinking of glasses, laughter and joyful voices filled the air. Why don't I see old Fourth and Ruoxi? Just as she finished speaking, the Murong siblings took a few steps forward, respectfully bowing and greeting her. The four of them stood perfectly poised in a neat row, truly exuding the dignity of a great noble family. Who might these be, mother? These are the children Cece gave birth to in the Murong family. They are all good, filial kids. Our mother is in frail health, so it wasn't convenient for her to come in person. She specifically instructed his siblings to come and offer our birthday greetings and respects to your highness on her behalf. You are very thoughtful, to your highness. My brothers and I have specially prepared a birthday gift for you. It's an inkstone screen. This was bought just last night, after Murong Xinwei and the three Murong brothers spent every last penny of their savings. Listening to the praises from the crowd, a modest, reserved smile surfaced on her lips. The birthday gift Murong Ruoxi sent was also an inkstone screen, but it was nowhere near as precious and exquisite as hers. You are all such good children. You really shouldn't have spent so much. Saying this, she signaled Nanny Li to give them a reward. Murong Xinwei's beautiful eyes shifted, as if she had suddenly remembered something. Why don't we see Ruoxi yet? On such an important day. Could she have gotten naughty and run off to play outside again? Your highness might not know. Murong Ruoxi is extremely playful. Back when my father celebrated his birthday, everyone happily agreed to go to a nice restaurant for a great meal. But when we all arrived, she was nowhere to be found. We were worried sick. It wasn't until we got back home that we found out she had actually gone off to play with the neighbor's kids. She is just so incredibly immature. Is that so? From what I've seen, that child Ruoxi is actually quite well behaved. Murong Chongjing was about to say something more, when the deafening sound of gongs and drums suddenly exploded through the air. The dowager consort was both startled and delighted. What is this? It's the lion dance troupe that fourth brother specially invited for grandmother. As he spoke, his gaze passed over the 6 awakening lions, landing much further away. Chen Weijin picked up a crab. Big brother, where is sister Ruoxi? Chen Chonggong didn't answer him. A large, colorful embroidered ball was tossed high into the air. The 6 dancing lions leapt into the sky, flipping and jumping with all their might. These young performers already possessed exceptional martial arts skills, so their lion dance was far more spectacular than ordinary street performers. Their highly difficult acrobatic stunts drew continuous gasps of amazement from the entire crowd. Even the highly experienced dowager consort couldn't help but clap in praise. Right at the climax, the gongs and drums abruptly stopped. The lively, crisp sound of bamboo clappers suddenly rang out. The pink dancing lion that Chen Chonggong had just noticed earlier, stepped forward with nimble movements, and stepped into the clearing circled by the other lions. She gently placed a wine jug on the ground, and the exquisitely vibrant lion head leaned in to give it a gentle sniff. That adorably charming appearance made all the guests in the garden burst into light laughter. The pink lion, pretending to be drunk, stumbled around the open courtyard with wobbly, playful steps. The wine jar went rolling away, stopping right in front of a green lion. Instantly, the rest of the lions woke up, leaping and prancing once more to the crashing beat of gongs and drums. They smashed the wine jar in midair. The pink and green lions leapt high into the sky, landing perfectly on the other lions' backs to catch a cascade of brilliant red silk falling from the shattered jar. Bold, sweeping calligraphy was written across the silk, wishing grandmother boundless fortune and a long, healthy life. Thunderous cheers and applause instantly erupted through the entire crowd. The roar of the crowd was so deafening it could have torn off the roof. Overcome with emotion, the old dowager gripped her dragon head cane and stood up. She hobbled forward, trembling with joy. Chen Muya and I were the ones inside the pink and green lions. Pulling off our heavy lion heads, we called out, wishing grandmother boundless fortune and a long, healthy life. Tears welled up in the old dowager's eyes. She pulled both of us close, her rough but incredibly warm hands gripping ours tightly. Just look at them. Didn't these 2 children perform beautifully? Oh, they were wonderful. Absolutely brilliant. What do you think, Boyue? Chen Chonggong raised his cup and took a slow, deliberate sip. His sharp gaze swept over me. I couldn't help but stare back at him in complete surprise. He actually knows how to compliment someone. At the next table, Murong Xinwei was biting her lip, biting it so hard it almost bled. Seeing the old dowager actually invite me, Murong Ruoxi, to sit right beside her, and even introduce me to all the noblewomen at the banquet. Xinwei gripped her handkerchief until her knuckles turned dead white. Beside her, Murong Chongjing leaned in and whispered, I can't believe that little Brad didn't gift the inkstone screen after all. Her wings are getting strong, and she's getting awfully full of tricks. Xinwei, we absolutely cannot let her steal your spotlight. Lion dancing is so utterly vulgar and unrefined. It has no place in high society. Xinwei, why don't you step up and perform the exquisite Jinghong dance for the old dowager? Show her what a true noble lady looks like. She was just about to politely decline. Grandmother, I just heard that the eldest Miss Murong wants to perform a dance for you. A terrifying chill ran down Xinwei's spine. She spun around in horror toward the voice. Chen Weijin was sitting there, straight-backed and calm. Well, Xinwei, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and perform for the dowager princess. Everyone is dying to see it. Pushed completely into a corner, Xinwei had no choice but to stand up. She began to spin gracefully in the center of the room. The Jinghong dance was supposed to be a delicate, intimate performance meant for private chambers. But the courtyard was packed with powerful officials, wealthy merchants, and their families. Watching such an overly seductive dance at a respectable birthday banquet just felt totally inappropriate. Every noblewoman in the crowd was openly sneering in disgust. Only a handful of sleazy men kept staring at her with lecherous grins. When the music stopped, there wasn't even a decent round of applause. But Murong Chongjing was completely oblivious. Xinwei, you danced wonderfully. That's right, Xinwei. I bet from today on, half the young lords in the city will be begging at your feet. Xinwei hung her head in total humiliation. Were they really that blind? Didn't they realize the only men staring at her were absolute degenerates? Unable to handle the overwhelming shame a second longer, she suddenly bolted up and ran out of the courtyard, sobbing hysterically. She was the one who insisted on dancing, and now she's the one throwing a crying fit. Crying her eyes out on grandmother's 60th birthday. Talk about bringing terrible luck to the party. That child, really. Chen Jun let out an awkward, quiet cough. Remembering that Xinwei was, after all, his own wife's biological daughter, he reluctantly mumbled to the nearby maids to go follow her and check if she was all right. Murong Changfeng and Murong Changjing both felt a bit awkward. Changfeng knew his second brother always had the most ideas. What do you think we should do about this? On Murong Changning's handsome and gentle face flashed a fleeting look of ruthless malice. When it comes down to it, it's all Murong Ruoxi's fault. If it weren't for her, why would Xinwei have to bear so much pressure and be forced onto the stage to dance? She knows perfectly well that Xinwei is in poor health, yet she still tries to outdo her at every single turn. It just goes to show how incredibly vicious she is. Exactly, this is all her fault. We have to come up with a way to make sure Xinwei beats her. After 3 rounds of drinks, Murong Changning suddenly stood up and walked over to the main table. He respectfully offered a toast to the old dowager princess. His face wore a warm and modest smile, with manners so impeccable that no one could find a single flaw. After finishing the toast, he suddenly shifted the conversation. I also brought a gift. Ruoxi, take a good look. Does this look familiar to you? My hand, holding the teacup, paused slightly. A strong sense of foreboding washed over me.